The war had ended in silence. After 3 years of bloodshed between the Terran Confederacy and the Varelian Hive, the galactic ceasefire was signed aboard the neutral space station, Eos Prime. Millions had died, billions displaced, and yet the two species sat across from each other with stone faces and hollow eyes, desperate for peace but unwilling to admit their mutual exhaustion. Among the contingent of humans sent to maintain peace and security aboard Eos Prime was Sergeant Elias Ward, scarred, decorated, and tired of killing. He didn't know why he had been personally requested as the sole human escort to the Hive's royal delegation. Protocol would have demanded an ambassador, perhaps a diplomat with cybernetic implants to translate pheromone speech. But no. Command had given him a direct order. You'll be the liaison. Keep the Varelian Queen secure, and try not to offend her. Offending a Varelian was easy. They were tall, spined, silver-skinned beings with crests that shimmered like polished steel. They communicated not just through sound but scent and subtle bioluminescence. The Queen, in particular, radiated the kind of presence that bent a room's atmosphere, like a star's gravity distorting space. And yet, she didn't speak to him for the first 3 days. Not with words. She only watched. Her name was Ilizak, though she permitted Elias to call her Zine after a full week of awkward silence and stiff ceremonial check-ins. She barely left her quarters. The Hive's ambassador pleaded with her to attend meetings in person, but Zine refused. "She will not move," said the ambassador in clipped English. "She claims the atmosphere aboard this station feels wrong. She will only speak to the human." Elias was baffled. "What? Why me?" The Varelian's eyes narrowed. "Perhaps because you are not afraid of her. Or perhaps she simply finds your scent amusing." He didn't know how to respond to that. Zine's room was kept in a warm, violet-hued twilight to mimic her homeworld's dying sun. Soft chitinous panels formed shifting organic walls. Flowers that pulsed with faint light decorated the corners. Gifts from her dying people, she had said. "You sit very still," she told Elias one day. "I was trained for that." Zine tilted her head. "No, that is not what I mean. You are not restless like the others. You do not fear me." "I'm a soldier," he said, watching her as she reclined on the curve of a living chaise grown from her hive's technology. "I've seen a lot worse than a tall woman with spines." She flicked a grin, barely perceptible, a subtle shimmer of lavender across her neck crest. "Have you seen a queen who refused to go back to her empire because she enjoys her prison?" Elias blinked. "Is that what this is? A prison?" Zine rose. She was 7 feet tall easily. Her body moved with an eerie grace, her silken robes fluttering like wind-driven sails. She stood before him now, her 4-fingered hands clasped behind her back. "Every queen is born with duty etched in her marrow," she said. "But I have been at war since I was old enough to molt my first armor. When I speak now, I do not speak for death. I speak for myself. You're saying you want to stay here?" She leaned in closer, the ends of her crest nearly brushing his forehead. "I want to stay with you." It should have been the beginning of a diplomatic scandal. Instead, it became the galaxy's strangest love story. Zine refused every request to leave her room, except when Elias escorted her. She rejected video calls, refused to transmit holograms, and declined interviews or messages from other hive worlds. The other delegates were furious. But what could they do? She was their queen, and she was smitten. Elias couldn't quite understand it at first. Was it pheromonal? An imprinting instinct gone wrong? A misinterpretation of cultural cues? But when she sang to him, an eerie, lilting tune that made the walls vibrate with sympathetic harmony, he felt it. Zine was not manipulating him. She was genuinely happy only when he was near. "I do not want to rule," she told him late one night, when the station's artificial day cycle dimmed. "I want a life where I am not worshipped, not feared. Just understood." "You're the queen of a star-spanning civilization," he replied. "You can't just shack up with a human soldier and disappear." "Why not?" she asked, curling a long, clawed hand around his. "Does your people's hierarchy forbid love?" His throat tightened. "No. But it's complicated." "I do not care for complicated," she said. "I care for you." The hive sent ships, delegates, priests, but Zine ignored them all. A week passed, then two, then a month. Word began to spread. Jokes on human media, satirical videos showing the rebellious bug queen, who fell for a Terran grunt and refused to return home. Most assumed it was disinformation. Others, disturbingly, began to romanticize it. And through it all, Zine stayed in her room. "I used to dream of being free," she told Elias, curled around him beneath the bioluminescent canopy of her quarters. "But I didn't know what it meant. Until now." Elias was torn. Duty warred with emotion. Orders clashed with instincts. He had tried, really tried, to report the situation accurately. But the brass didn't care. "Keep her stable," they said. "If she wants to rot in her room, let her. She's not our problem anymore." But she was his problem. She was also his friend. His strange, magnificent, terrifying lover. He hadn't touched her. Not like that. But there was a closeness between them that no human woman had ever shown him. Not with such raw honesty. Not without walls. "I'm scared," he admitted one day. She blinked. "Why?" "Because you're not just someone. You're history. You're supposed to shape galaxies. I'm just a man." She laughed. "Then let me shape galaxies from this bed, with you beside me." When the hive finally escalated, sending a fleet to retrieve her, things came to a boiling point. The ships loomed over Eos Prime like silver daggers, bristling with energy weapons. Their demand was simple. "Return the queen or face our wrath." Zine refused. Elias stood outside her quarters, sidearm holstered, waiting for orders. None came. The station's administrator panicked. Earth's diplomats scrambled. No one wanted a second war. Then Elias made a decision. He entered Zine's chamber, knelt before her and said, "I'll go with you." She stared wide-eyed. "If you return to your people, I'll go with you. As your guard. Or your partner. If they'll allow it." Zine stepped forward, her voice a whisper. "They will not." "Then let me speak for you. Let me explain." It worked. Miraculously, impossibly, it worked. Elias addressed the hive's delegates. He didn't use big words. Just truth. That Zine was tired. That she had done her duty. That she deserved a choice. That no ruler should be forced into a throne she no longer desired. And then, in the most watched broadcast in galactic history, Queen Ilizek Zine emerged from her chamber and stood beside him. "I am not abandoning my people," she said, her voice amplified across star systems. "I am choosing to show them another way. A life beyond domination. A path through love." The hive fractured, but not into war. Half the systems hailed her as a visionary. The other half branded her a deserter. But the galaxy moved on as it always does. Zine abdicated. Her younger sister, more traditional, more politically palatable, took the throne. And Zine. She vanished from the public eye.